When it comes to matters relating to Cardano, the Cardano founder has remained unbending in his various predictions. Currently, in the crypto market, it is difficult to set your mind on just one thing, in anticipation that it will eventually work out. Charles Hoskinson has displayed this even at the oddest moments. He is indeed a man for the job. Now, the crypto market is on fire. Buffett just called Bitcoin a gambling token. In an interview with CNBC, billionaire investor Warren Buffett described Bitcoin as a gambling token, echoing the stern opinion of the cryptocurrency that he has aired in the past. The Berkshire Hathaway chairman and CEO added that Bitcoin does not have any intrinsic value, but does not stop people from wanting to play the roulette wheel. Commenting on gambling in general, Buffett said, "The urge to participate in something that looks like easy money is a human instinct which was always there." Before you get shaken by this update, remember that Buffett is well known to be no fan of Bitcoin, having referred to it as probably rat poison squared in 2018. His top deputy, Berkshire Hathaway, has even had more outspoken over his disdain for cryptocurrency over the years, earlier this year calling for the US to copy China and ban it. It's a gambling contract with nearly 100% the edge for the house, entered in a country where the gambling contracts are traditionally regulated only by the states that compete in laxity. The US should now enact a new federal law that prevents this from happening. He wrote in an opinion piece for the Wall Street Journal, "Well, even amid the crypto sabotage, Charles Hoskinson predicted that nation-states could adopt the smart contract platform within the next decade if anti-crypto forces do not interfere." In a video update titled "The 5 Pillars of the 21st Century" on March 30th, Hoskinson shared with his 320,000 YouTube subscribers that the nation-states may one day depend on the Cardano ecosystem for various useful functions. Hoskinson envisions a future within 5 to 10 years where Cardano's technology can be used to run a nation-state. For instance, the platform could be employed for national identity systems with principles, payment systems with principles, or even central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs for short, that protect users. He said, "I can see a path within 5 to 10 years that you can run a nation-state on technology like Cardano. I can see that happening. I can see a path where Cardano could be used to run a national identity system with principles, or a payment system with principles, or a CBDC, central bank digital currency, or principles that protect you. I can see that path." With the decentralized nature of Cardano, its fast-growing community, and the resources available within its ecosystem, Hoskinson believes that it is inevitable for tens of millions of people to eventually adopt and utilize Cardano for various use cases. However, Hoskinson warned that the powerful forces are attempting to maintain a hierarchical power structure by limiting the progress of cryptocurrencies and decentralization. He further explained that a movement such as Operation Choke Point 2.0 is a globalist movement and recognizes decentralized models like Cardano as threatening traditional power structures. Hoskinson said, "That's why people are attacking crypto so much these days." Hoskinson also emphasized the value of controlling one's money, identity, data, economic agency, and the ability to participate in the world while restraining government power and people's lives. But it's important to note that Charles Hoskinson has said plenty of things about Cardano, and most of them have failed to materialize. The Cardano founder is always optimistic, but most times optimism is not enough. This is why most investors stay away from Cardano. It has adorable plans on paper and expectations, but with zero attainments. So let's get back to what Hoskinson said some years ago. Since the IOHK released the Cardano whiteboard and overview with Charles Hoskinson video in October 2017, the company introduced major improvements to the platform, and Hoskinson was there to give the public more insight into the company's roadmap. Hoskinson spoke about the progress of Cardano and revealed the platform's roadmap. Hoskinson once appeared on the Ivan on Tech YouTube show alongside Michael Peyton Jones, a compiler engineer, and Manuel Chakravarty, the leader of the Plutus team. The discussion involved issues revolving around Cardano and platforms based on functional programming languages in general. While there were dozens of different topics discussed, the interview gained the most traction thanks to Hoskinson's detailed insight into Cardano and the progress that has been made on the platform. Many members of the close-knit Cardano community have been waiting for Hoskinson to give an in-depth interview since IOHK, the company tasked with managing and developing Cardano, released the Cardano whiteboard and overview with Charles Hoskinson video in October of 2017. In this interview, Hoskinson explained that Cardano actually started back in 2015 as an aspirational project. After realizing the troubles Ethereum faced, despite the platform being technically more advanced than Bitcoin, Hoskinson set out to gather a team of developers that could solve those problems. Do you remember that story? It's definitely an interesting one. Hoskinson explained that Ethereum's solidity couldn't be used across different blockchains as it could not offer the three main attributes a programming language should have, which are simplicity, consciousness, and proof of correctness. This led Hoskinson to consider a functional programming language and an all-encompassing solution for the problems blockchains face. And apart from making it easier to deal with distributed systems, the system base of the functional code made it easier to discover bugs and other problems. Some of the popular functional programming language include Scala, Haskell, Erlang, and OCaml, and they also enabled parallelization, heavily used by investment banks and other financial institutions. They were considered safer, more predictable, and faster than object-oriented programming languages. This allowed Cardano to have measurably more functionality than the Bitcoin network. Back then, Hoskinson said the problem with Bitcoin was that it's blind, deaf, and dumb. You can't really do much with it. And despite major improvements to Plutus and Rust updates, the audience of Ivan on Tech Livestream was more excited about Shelley. Hoskinson explained that the Shelley update was a phase in Cardano's development that will allow for more decentralization. In addition, Hoskinson said that the smart contract functionality brought by Gauguin can be done whether the system was centralized or decentralized. However, Hoskinson argued that it would be better to deploy the smart contract functionality in a decentralized capacity to minimize liability. Also, he remarked that 2019 would be a major year for Cardano, and that the platform will exit this year stronger than ever. While he remained silent on the platform's plans for the following year, many viewers and members of the Cardano community were more than certain than ever that Cardano would not only become a top-performing crypto, but direct the entire industry on its way to mass adoption. However, this turned out to be unattainable, as Hoskinson's expectations did not fit into Cardano's current reality. Of course, many people came back to use his words against him, and instead of shying away or absconding like a debtor owing someone a huge amount of money, he kept showing his face in videos, resilient about the set goals of Cardano. One knock on Cardano has always been that it's not growing fast enough to keep up with other blockchain competitors. It has always seemed to lag behind rivals such as Ethereum when it comes to innovations. For example, Ethereum had smart contracts back in 2015, while Cardano only added support for them in 2021. And according to Cardano, it's better to be the best to the market rather than the first to market. It has always prided itself on a slow, methodical, very academic approach to blockchain development, supported by an optimistic founder. This in itself has frustrated investors, and it is to the point to where some have accused it of being a ghost chain. However, let's try to reason with Hoskinson. The path to a breakout for Cardano could be in its offing. In a recent interview, Hoskinson explained that Cardano will be placing much more of an emphasis on growth and development in emerging markets such as Africa and Latin America. According to reports, these are places where traditional finance is underdeveloped, and where hundreds of millions of people are either underbanked or unbanked. Imagine the growth potential of getting all these people into crypto's blockchains. Since these markets will likely grow faster than European or North American markets in the coming years, being a first mover could be key for Cardano, at least for now. A priority for it this year will be Kenya, so you might want to keep an eye out for developments in this African nation. The bitter truth remains though, if Cardano is not appealing at the top of the charts or generating buzz through markets and sponsorships, it's not going to attract attention of investors. And unfortunately, that's the reality. And it largely explains why the all-time high for Cardano is just $3.10. But all hope is not lost. Do we have to wait 5 to 10 years to see Cardano become what is expected of it? Well, you know what they say. Repeated drops of water could eventually make a river. Cardano in of itself is worth waiting for. But that's going to do it for today's video. Make sure you click on the subscribe and notification buttons, and we'll see you in the next video.